that I have come to since I used to live in Gardena. It's right across the street from a municipal airport north of Grumman. That's some good stuff. We were both happy over here. You too now. So you can see, show the shopping centers. All the shopping centers over here. And all this stuff is here, Target and everything else. But what's different is on the other side of this, that's the airport. That's north of Grumman. North of Grumman ended up selling a lot of their property over here to SpaceX, and we're going to go buy SpaceX so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So right there is north of Grumman and the airport. That is the Hawthorne Municipal Airport right there. You can see the parking structures, and you can see SpaceX from a distance right now. We're going to go straight down that area so you'll see both of them. Now that parking structure actually supports the one in the foreground here, parking structure. You can see the airport. They take care of all that over there. But once we get through this light, I'm going to show you all the new apartment complexes that they built specifically for the people that work at SpaceX.
They put apartment complexes for people?
Yes. And can't nobody fucking afford them, except for the people that work here. So you see the new parking structure. Show the parking structure. That's north of Grumman. Go ahead and show that. Right? All this stuff is new. This is all the gentrified stuff that was over here. Right? There's SpaceX. Show SpaceX. Parking structure. And to support all the people that work here, this is what they built. Can't nobody live in these places except, and they designed these places specifically for the people that work at that airport and at SpaceX. These are all the assembly people, the engineers, and everybody else. And all of them will be living here. Now, they won't discriminate and say that you can't live there, but they're already discriminating by how much they're charging people to stay there. This is the situation. So this is where I was staying, and this is where I used to play with my son and everything. This right here is called Gardena. This is actually the border between Gardena and Hawthorne, right? Gardena, Hawthorne, and Inglewood. This is like the Tri-City area right here, and you can see everything else is pretty much common. So I wanted you to see this for a reason. This right here are the series of apartment buildings. Showing up all the apartments. Now you can see all these apartment buildings. You can see how the industry, span over here. You can see all the industry is over here, right? These apartment buildings that you see here go all the way down the street with it. You see these apartment buildings. All these apartment buildings some of them are paid for by affordable housing, but the rent over here is ridiculous, right? Now, but the rent over here, because of the age of these apartments, is significantly cheaper than the apartments that you saw that are being built over there by SpaceX. Now, here's the messed up thing about it. Pan back over here. You see all this over here. At some point, all that is going to need to be expanded. Guess where they're going to expand to? Yes, all these apartments over here. So they'll be working on trying to get all the people to sell these apartments. They'll get this land, they'll upgrade this land, and every last one of these people that live in these apartments, who've been living in these apartments for decades, they will all be displaced. And now the people that actually can afford the rent, they'll be okay, but when they leave this apartment area, the rent that they're going to be paying wherever they're going is going to be significantly higher than what they're paying right now, because there's rent control over here. So if you get rid of the rent control after they get done buying off this property, all those people who can barely afford to live here now will not have any place to go.